On a quiet fall morning in Portland, Oregon, Thomas Miller, a 35-year-old software engineer, awakens to the curiosity that has been lurking in his thoughts for the past few months. Raised by loving adoptive parents, Thomas always knew he had origins that transcended the boundaries of his home in Portland. However, the desire to know his roots became stronger after the birth of his first daughter. In San Antonio, Texas, lives Ana Ruiz, a 34-year-old art teacher who shares a similar adoption story as Thomas. Ana grew up in a home full of love and support, surrounded by two brothers, also adopted. Unlike Thomas, she never had much curiosity about her biological origin, focusing on her career and the community she formed around herself. "Have you thought about doing those DNA tests?" asked Anna's husband over breakfast, suggesting a new way to better understand her genetic health.
Ana similet, somehat skeptical.
"Maybe. It might be interesting," he replied, without imagining that this simple decision would change his life. Meanwhile, in Portland, Thomas sat in his home office, looking at the box of the DNA kit that had arrived by mail. "It's now or never," he muttered to himself before following the instructions to collect his sample. The test results came a few weeks later, during a particularly tumultuous period at work. Thomas opened the email, his heart pounding as he read the unexpected message. DNA results found a complete sibling match. Please log in for details. Ana, on the other hand, received her notification on a quiet afternoon. She had completely forgotten about the test until she saw the email on her phone. Full brother correspondence. Read on screen, and for a moment the world seemed to stop. "How is that possible?" she whispered, feeling a mixture of emotion and confusion. Both, driven by surprise and the need to understand, began a journey that would lead them to discover not only about themselves, but about each other. Thomas was the first to send a message. "Hello. I received the results of the DNA test today, and it seems that we have a very significant connection. Are you open, to talk about it?" Ana read and reread the message several times before answering. "Hello. Yes, I also received the results. I'm a little shocked, to be honest, but I'd really like to talk." In the days that followed, they exchanged messages, each revealing more about their lives, their adoptive families, their dreams and challenges. It was strange and wonderful to discover so many similarities, even though they were created in such different contexts. As autumn gave way to winter, Thomas and Ana decided it was time to meet in person. A meeting that promised not only to unite two people, but also to reveal untold chapters of their stories. The exchange of messages between Thomas and Ana quickly turned into long phone conversations. Each connection revealed deeper layers of their personalities and stories, creating a bond that both would describe as unexpectedly natural. Thomas, with his more analytical temperament, was fascinated by the coincidences in his trajectories, while Anne, with her artistic sensibility, marveled at the poetry of destiny that had brought them together. "Do you think our biological parents knew we had each other?" Ana asked during one of her conversations, her voice shaking slightly with the emotional charge of the question. Thomas hesitated, pondering the depth of the question. "I don't know," he admitted, "but something tells me that maybe they hoped that one day we could meet like this on our own." As they continued to share their stories, they both decided it was time to explore their origins more deeply. This meant not only talking about what they found, but also facing the complex emotions of feeling abandoned and at the same time loved by their foster families. Each conversation was a mixture of laughter and tears as they navigated the often turbulent waters of adoption. The next step was a joint decision to meet in person to access adoption records and possibly contact the agency that had coordinated the processes. "I think we're ready to know more, aren't we?" Thomas asked, feeling a mixture of anxiety and expectation. "Yes, we are," Ana agreed. "But you know that no matter what we discover, it doesn't change the fact that we find each other." With the practical details in place, Thomas flew from Portland to San Antonio on a rainy Friday in March. Ana received him at the airport, and the moment they first met was full of emotion. There was a palpable sense of familiarity, as if somehow, even separated, their lives had been shaped by parallel lines that finally met. "You're just like I imagined," Anna said, with tears in her eyes, as they hugged each other in the middle of the terminal. "Me too," Thomas replied, his voice choked by emotion. "It's like coming home, somehow." In the following days, they visited the adoption agency, where they were greeted by a social worker who helped them navigate through the old files. They found that they were separated due to the financial circumstances of their biological parents, who, with heavy hearts, had made the painful decision to give them both up for adoption, hoping to give each of them a better life. The stories of their biological parents, their struggles and sacrifices, added a deep layer of understanding and compassion in their hearts. They were no longer living only their own stories, but also the stories of those who came before them. During the week Thomas stayed in San Antonio, he and Anna spent every possible moment together, sharing experiences, visiting Anna's favorite places in the city, and planning the next steps of her newly shared journey. "I think we should write about it," Anna suggested one night as they dined at a small Mexican restaurant near downtown. "Not only about our reunion, but about the whole process: fear, hope, joy, everything." Thomas agreed, thrilled at the idea of documenting his story. "It is a way of sharing our experience, perhaps even helping others in similar situations to understand that they are not alone." The deal was sealed with a toast, margarita bowls clinking under the restaurant's soft lights. They knew that no matter what the future held, they had found something invaluable in each other. A lost family, a piece of their own identities that had hitherto been missing. In the last days of Thomas's visit, they began to plan how they could use his story to inspire and support others. They decided to start a blog together, sharing not only their personal journey, but also resources and advice to others who were seeking to understand their own origins through DNA testing or adoption processes. On the day of Thomas's departure at the airport, the weather was bittersweet. They had developed a deep connection in a short time, a connection that defied distance and decades of separation. "It's not goodbye, Anna. It's just a see you soon," Thomas said, hugging her tightly. "I know," Anna replied, holding her tears. "We'll see each other soon. We have a lot to do together." As Thomas returned to Portland, he reflected on the twists and turns his life had taken. The DNA test, initially a simple curiosity about her health, had become the discovery of a sister. Now he felt a renewed sense of purpose. "I was eager to start working on the blog, eager to continue building their relationship with Anna, and most of all, eager to see where this new journey would take them." In San Antonio, Anna looked at the night sky, thinking of Thomas and the extraordinary coincidence of their lives crossing again. She felt deep gratitude for the universe that had somehow brought them together. It was a reminder that life could be unpredictable and incredibly beautiful. And so, between frequent phone calls and plans for future encounters, they continued to explore the meaning of family, connection, and identity. Every conversation, every message, every blog post strengthened their bond, a bond that, although newly discovered, seemed destined to last a lifetime. After months of deep and revealing conversations, Thomas and Anna decided to organize a family gathering to introduce each other to their respective foster families. This event would not only be a moment for them, but a celebration of all forms of family, those we choose and those given to us by destiny. The choice of location was easy. They decided on a public park in Austin, Texas, a midpoint between Portland and San Antonio. The site, known for its beautiful landscape and spacious gazebos, offered the perfect setting for a meeting picnic. In the days leading up to the event, Anna and Thomas planned every detail, from food to activities for children, wanting to ensure that the day was memorable and comfortable for everyone. On the day of the meeting, the sun shone high in the blue sky, a perfect spring day. Thomas arrived first with his adoptive parents, George and Helen Miller, and his little daughter, Lila. They set up the area with colorful tablecloths and balloons. Shortly after, Anne arrived with her adoptive parents, Mary and Joseph Ruiz, and her two brothers, Richard and Sophia. The first moments were a palpable nervousness mixed with a restrained emotion. The presentations were made timidly, but with smiles that quickly warmed the atmosphere. George, a playful man, broke the ice telling anecdotes about Thomas's childhood, making everyone laugh. Anna, Seeing her parents talking excitedly with Helen about the antics of children felt a warmth in her heart. "It seems they've always known each other," she whispered to Thomas, who nodded, her eyes shining with joy. "I never imagined that this day would happen," said Thomas, as he watched Lila running through the park with Ricardo and Sophia. "Looking at everyone here, this is something I've always missed, not even knowing it was missing." Anna nodded, holding his hand. "It's like finding pieces of a puzzle you didn't even know were lost. Now, looking at all of them, everything seems more complete." As the day progressed, stories were shared, laughter echoed, and photos were taken, each capturing moments of a new story that everyone was starting together. Thomas and Anna had prepared a photo album that began with photos of their babies, going through various phases of their lives, to the present day. It was a way to share their journeys, showing their families not only where they were, but where they planned to go together. During lunch, Anna proposed a toast. With everyone holding glasses of juice and soda, she began, her voice choked by emotion. "Today is not only about the reunion of two people, but about the union of two families. Each of you has contributed to who we are today, and will continue to be a part of who we will become. So let us toast to the family, not defined only by blood ties, but by love and unconditional support." Everyone toasted, many with tears in their eyes, moved by the meaning of the moment. After lunch, Thomas took his guitar, a hobby he shared with Anna in the conversations, and started playing some songs. Anna joined him, her voice harmonizing perfectly with his, while their families accompanied them, singing or simply listening, immersed in the magic of the moment. As the sun began to set, no one wanted the day to end. It was a day full of new memories, renewed hopes, and an expanded sense of belonging. The goodbye was difficult, but not sad. They knew it was just the beginning of many other encounters. While helping to clean, Thomas reflected on everything that had happened. "You know, Anna," he began as he folded a tablecloth, "today was one of the best days of my life, and to think it all started with a simple DNA test." Anna, who collected some dishes, smiled at him. "I could never imagine that a curiosity about my origins would bring so much, not just to you, but to all of us here. It is as if we have discovered a new chapter of our lives that was waiting to be written." As the night shadows began to fall over the park, the families said goodbye with warm hugs and promises of future visits. "We'll plan a date for Christmas," Helen suggested, excited to continue building these new relationships. Everyone agreed, excited about the prospect of reuniting again. In the car, on the way home, Thomas and Anna talked excitedly about plans for the future. They discussed the possibility of creating an online group for families gathered through DNA testing, a community where they could share their experiences and offer support to others who went through similar situations. "We can use our story to help guide others," Anna suggested. "Show that despite fears and uncertainties, there can be a happy ending." Thomas agreed thoughtfully. "It's a big responsibility, but I think we're ready for that. After all, if our story can inspire at least one person to seek their roots and find something as wonderful as what we found, then it's worth sharing." They came home with full hearts and agitated minds with ideas. The reunion had not only brought Thomas and Anna back together, but had also sparked a spark that promised to ignite many other stories. As Anna climbed the stairs to her apartment, she looked back, seeing Thomas wave before getting into his car. "See you soon, brother," she said, waving back. "No doubt, sister. See you soon." The day was over, but Thomas and Anna's journey was just beginning. Through their shared experiences, they not only recognized lost ties, but also paved the way for others to find their own lost connections, uniting separate stories by the common destiny of humanity and love. In the months that followed the encounter in the park, the relationship between Thomas and Anna, as well as the connection between their families, flourished in ways that none of them could have predicted. Not only did they maintain regular contact, but their lives began to intertwine significantly, creating a new network of emotional and family support. As Christmas approached, preparations for the second great meeting of families were in full swing. This time, the event would be in Portland, where Thomas had planned a warm welcome at his home. He and Anna also had something special in mind for this meeting, a video project documenting their stories and the impact of reunion on their lives. We want to show that family connections, whether by blood or by choice, are vital, Anna explained as she discussed the script of the video with Thomas via video call. Let's share our journeys, difficulties and joys, so that others who are searching for their roots know that they are not alone. The project quickly came to life, with interviews filmed with each family member, sharing their perspectives and emotions about the reunion. The honesty and vulnerability shown by all were profound, highlighting the complex layers of love, loss, and rediscovery that define their experiences. When the big day arrived, Thomas's home was filled with laughter, conversation, and the delicious smell of home cooking. The festive spirit was palpable, and the Christmas decoration added an extra glow of magic and warmth to the room. Among those present under the tree was a carefully chosen selection of photo albums and memoirs that Thomas and Anne had prepared as gifts for their families. These are more than just gifts, Thomas announced when it was time to exchange gifts. Each of these albums is a chapter in our shared history, a reminder of the bridges we've built together. Tears were common as they leafed through the pages, each photo and handwritten note evoking memories of a year that had undoubtedly been one of the most significant of their lives. The night followed with games, stories, and lots of music, the house full of the kind of joy that can only come from a deep sense of belonging. At the end of the night, Anne pulled Thomas aside, leading him to the window where they could see the snow starting to fall softly. "Do you realize how much all this, every little moment, is rebuilding something we thought was lost forever?" she asked, her voice low and full of emotion. Thomas looked at her, his eyes reflecting the colorful lights of the Christmas tree behind them. "Yes, I notice. And to think it all started with a simple DNA test," he muttered. "But you know, Anna, what we really rebuilt was not just our own stories, but the idea that the family can be found as well as created. And this is a gift." Agreeing, Anna smiled, a smile that spoke of countless shared emotions. "And we will continue to build, every day, every Christmas, every moment together. Because now, more than ever, we know what it means to be a family." With the new year approaching, plans for the future continued to form. Thomas and Anna's blog now had followers from all over the world, people touched by their history and encouraged to seek their own lost connections. They planned to expand their video project into a full documentary, hoping to capture even more stories like theirs. As the snow fell more densely outside, inside Thomas's house, the warmth offered a comforting contrast to the cold. The reconstruction of their lives, now interlaced by indelible ties, continued with each shared laugh, each story told, each plan made together. The night deepened, but no one wanted to leave, wanting to extend those moments of union as much as possible. Mary, Anne's adoptive mother, approached the two, smiling as she saw them together in the window. "You've created something very special this year," she said, putting a hand on everyone's. "You have shown us that family is not only about where we come from, but where we go together." Joseph's eyes, who had joined the group, shone with unspoken tears as he nodded in agreement. "And most importantly," he added, "is that you have shown that love and acceptance can heal old wounds and open paths to new beginnings. This is something we will take with us in the coming years." Inspired by the words of their parents, Thomas and Anna felt even more motivated to continue their work, knowing that each effort, each shared story, each encounter had the power to transform lives, just as their own were transformed. The evening ended with promises of new encounters and farewells that were more goodbye than goodbye. As families parted, snowflakes painted the world white, symbolizing a clean canvas, ready to be filled with the colors of the new memories they would create together. In the days and weeks that followed, as the documentary began to take shape and the blog grew in popularity, Thomas and Anna often reflected on the journey they had taken. Every comment on the blog, every email from a reader, reaffirmed the importance of their decision to open their lives and hearts to the world. They had discovered not only themselves and each other, but also a global community of people eager for connection and understanding. And so, as winter gave way to spring, they planned more meetings, more projects, more ways to explore and celebrate the human connections that transcended what was expected. They knew that each step forward was a testimony to the transforming power of love, family, and belonging, a legacy they would continue to build together. The story of Thomas and Anna, therefore, was not just a narrative of reunion, but a continuous celebration of life and the countless possibilities that arise when we allow ourselves to truly connect with others. It was a message of hope and renewal that, once shared, would continue to inspire and positively affect the lives of many, spreading a web of love and acceptance that could indeed embrace the world. If you like this exciting story, help us by leaving your like and subscribing to our channel. Until the next story,